Solo.com knows that every job is important. And for more than 10 years, Solo.com has been delivering tools, parts, and supplies for your business. In stock and ready to ship free the next day. What you need, when you need it. Solo.com. You want to do that? 60 seconds back and forth? Or if you guys want, we could give it another shot at just keeping it open combo.
Sure.
So let me do that. If the interruptions continue, you guys feel like you're not.
I would like to just point out.
Wait. We have to set the rules first. No more talking. Yes. We will do 60 seconds back and forth.
Supposed to be talked to like that, though, right?
60 seconds back and forth. I'm so serious. We decided women and you're here.
I don't care.
How do you think I care if you I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
I'm talking
What's your proposal?
My proposal. If we don't do 60 seconds back and forth, I will walk out right now. The agreement was that I appear. It does not say that I have to stay for 3 hours, so I will leave. Right. Because I'm not going to be talked to like this.
Like what?
Real men.
You're going to tell me what a real man is?
Andrew,
real women don't abort their children, lady.
My dad has the same political beliefs as you. Who's never talked to.
And my sister has the same political beliefs as you, and she would never get something like that. Like what you relate. And that makes no sense. Stop.
Andrew, that's really disrespectful.
Stop. Everything's disrespectful. Stop. You're such a my baby. Stop.
In furtherance, ensuring that this debate actually occurs. Let's set some ground rules. You gotta allow people to finish their points. And Andrew, maybe you said some mocking things towards her.
No, I No. I'm stood up for myself. I'm not being mocked. I have not said a word that is bad to you. You're talking about your family in Michigan. I want to get to know you. This isn't about anything about me and you. This is about what you're talking about.
I'm here to do a debate.
Look, when you returned to the table, you did. The tone, your tone wasn't the best towards Andrew. And look, hold on. Be fair. Andrew's tone towards you wasn't great either. In furtherance of ensuring that the debate actually occurs, why don't we just get back to it and stick to the substance of the conversation? I'm trying to be fair to both of you.
But 60 seconds each, yeah? No interruptions?
Andrew, if you're fine with that, then I'm fine with that. So
Great.
And if you guys are open to it, if that goes well, the 60 seconds each, we can bring it back to open conversation.
Okay.
Well, there's have to be some cross-examination at some point, but yeah, that's fine.
Sure. Okay, so kind of go then. You have 60 seconds.
Okay, so the point of my conversation here is I would genuinely like to have an open discussion about like what feminism means and to debunk some of the feminist myths, but my opponent seems to want to take me instead and to call me names, which is totally okay. I'm used to that, especially if you look at my comments online. But the point being, I'm going to try my best to keep it very mellow. Again, I'm going to get defensive, but I would like to start by saying, yes, the McKinsey study, so in sociology and psychology studies are flawed, and that is true. They are continually, it's a field that's expanding, and that's why I chose to study psychology, because I do find this interesting. But that doesn't negate the fact that plenty of studies have found a significant correlation between being a woman and being a victim of violence at the hands of a man. And again, the study of 1 in 3 women globally who experience sexual and physical violence. And I think that is the core of what the bar feminists believe in, is trying to combat that violent behavior to protect women. I'm sure that's close to a minute, so I can pass it over.
Yeah, so feminism has completely lied to everybody, and I'll explain exactly how it failed in its promise. Its promise was that it was supposed to protect women. It hasn't protected women. The very idea that you want to put women inside of male workforces is not protecting women. The idea that you want to have the dual colleges where it's men and women together is not protecting women. These are terrible ideas. They've been borne out as being terrible ideas. When you talk about sociological studies being flawed, I don't think that you're really being honest about how flawed they are. The replication crisis in sociology is getting worse, not better. It's not getting better. Even with all the meta-analysis, it's not getting better. Why is it getting better? It's because of bias. There's so much bias which is going on, especially from the purview of feminists. And feminists use standpoint theory. They want everything to go through the view of women. So when you're talking about, for instance, the criteria, when you're talking about what that means that women are assaulted, right? What is the criteria for that, for what an assault actually is?
That's a really good question. And there are definitely, we are definitely working on defining the lines for. So right now, there's an acronym that we're coming up with that we want to teach in schools of like what that means, which is FRI, so freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, or engaged in specific of what consent means, so that there is no confusion about what is happening in terms of, you know. So last night, Andrew's 10. Just say nothing, but I don't want to go for it. So I seriously can't stop thinking about it. Thank you for it. You say to guys out there, we love picking hands. If you have some days, and it was fine, hands, these hands. This is the longer, better times in the bedroom. It's what it's saying. It makes up. I know that that's not been where people are confused and they don't know, especially if there's something going on. So my goal is to protect women and also to make sure that men know that if they are causing harm, that I mean, a lot of people to hurt people, they don't realize it. And so I think if we have better education about what assault is and how to prevent it, because there are male defense, so I think it's something that we can come forward about and make sure that everyone feels heard and supported, that men would also come forward more. Like if they fix it.
This doesn't answer my question. The big question is when you cite the data on how many of these women have actually been assaulted, what is the criteria being used?
That's a good question. I see your point of how it varies, like based upon the study and things like that. But I think a lot of these, the problem is that it's reported. But again, another issue is that not means they could be underreported as well, because you know women are too scared to report it. So yes, there are issues with that. But another thing though is that women are definitely in a position in the home where they are safe in a lot of places. And again, to the assumption that is earlier, like it's because we married the wrong man and you know this guy is not safe in our home, but it's not. It's sometimes when you marry somebody or you date somebody, they can then come right towards you. They see you as their property.
Most of these domestic violence claims and things like this are happening from single mothers with boyfriends, though, not happening from the father at home.
Do you have a source for
relationships? Yes, I do.
Okay. No, I'm just wondering because
Not only is that factually the case, but interestingly enough, if the state seizes custody of a child inside of an abusive home, the child's actually more likely in the hands of the state to die than they are in the hands of the abusive home, which is insane but true.
I think.
Now, let me give you the studies that you're talking about here.
Okay.
Okay.
Are these the studies about which claims that you said?
Yeah, so here we're going to start with the National Incidence Study, NIS. It's the largest collection of all types reporting data relating to abuse and maltreatment of children. Okay? 68% of maltreated children were maltreated by a female, whereas 48% were maltreated by a male. Some children were maltreated by both. Children maltreated by biological parents, mothers maltreated, the majority, 75%, or fathers maltreated, the sizable majority, 43%. In contrast, male perpetrators were more common for children maltreated by non-biological parents or parent partners, 64%, or 75%. The safest place you could possibly be in the home is with your husband and your children. And that's for women, the safest place they can be. Any study that you pull up is going to be drawing from the NIS source. That's direct from the NIS itself. There's no refuting that. And look and look and look. It is definitely from partner incidence violence. Women are the safest when they have husband.
I think for some women that is the case. I think there are good men out there, and I think that's a misconception that feminists don't believe in that there are good men, that we hate all men, which definitely isn't true. But I would like to say, like, because you're saying, you know, psychology is an evolving field, there are different studies of different numbers. Male perpetrators are predominant, and while the exact percentage differs, it's generally estimated that between 75 and 90% of child sexual abuse is committed by men or male adolescents.
That's because it's not drawing from the correct data set, which would be the NIS. And the reason they do that is
to say which one is the correct data set.
because they all draw from the NIS. all of them draw from this data set, the NIS. They have to. It's the most comprehensive source for reporting. So here's what happens. If you wanted to gather data, you're a psychologist.
Are you seriously explaining to me how it works to gather data?
No, I'm asking you a question.
Oh, okay.
If you wanted to gather data,
Yes.
right? If you, especially on crimes, you would use law enforcement or the best source for reporting, right? In this case, self-reporting is going to be far less reliable than reports to the police, things like this, right?
Yes, understandable. So you're saying that this is the most comprehensive, therefore the most reliable source.
It's the most comprehensive
But
source.
where are you finding that it is the most comprehensive? Because you haven't mentioned a source that says it is, because I'm looking at it now.
The NIS?
That's not from the NIS. There's the national...
It's from the NIS. From the NIS.
There's the National Center for Victims of Crime in RAIN, which is the statistics that I just
RAIN
pulled up.
draws from the NIS.
Okay, so then how come it draws from the same source?
Because they changed the criteria for what is considered assault, and they changed the criteria. Like, I've seen it as bad as them saying that men cannot be essayed by women because it's non-penetrative.
I see. So you're saying that that would skew the numbers.
It does skew the numbers. So the results of the National Incident Study, NIS, the largest collection of all types of reported data related to abuse and maltreatment, 68% of maltreated children were maltreated by a female, 48% maltreated by a male. Women, when they're in positions of power over the people who are weaker than them, actually abuse more than men do. So at the same time, while you say, well, women have to run this big gambit of threats from men because men are much stronger than women, have more physical violence. When women are in charge of people who are inferior in strength than them, their incidences of violence towards them are much higher than men's incidences of violence towards them. It sounds like women are the greater threat here than men.
Sure. If you want to say that, that's totally your prerogative, but that's not what the numbers say. So you can say, no, it's my first week. You can say what you want about all the different statistics and how they come up with this study, but the point is that there are the estimates, and basically every study conducted globally has found that the number of female victims is strongly higher than male victims. Say male victims are important. If you are a male victim, especially if you haven't spoken up, I have seen the effects of having
What the fuck? We're playing a dangerous game here, guys. Playing a real dangerous game here, guys.
So please, talk to somebody. It is serious. But 1 in 6 boys have been assaulted, and a lot of the time it is by male offenders.
Yeah.
So it is serious.
What about the fact
But
that
the
we're
point is
talking
that
about
women
wages of
are
abuse
victims.
of children? Women are the ones who are most often in charge of children. The domestic rates, for instance, inside of a boys' home, where the guards, prison guards, are all male, and it's a male, youth population versus female. If there's a females in charge of the youth population, the statistics for abuse skyrocket. Same thing inside of public schools.
Are you saying that women are more likely to be
Women are more likely than men when it comes to the weaker sex. In this case, children, we would just say children are both sexes, right? But they have a weaker human than women. When they're in charge of children, they actually abuse them far more than what men abuse women at. And so it's like, so who's really the dangerous ones here?
Your 60 seconds begins. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Well, I would like to say that is a claim that is a reasonable conclusion that you are drawing from the data that you were presenting. Unfortunately, that is not true, though. That the vast majority of sex offenders are male, and especially when there are still female offenders, and that is still bad. But the point is that there is significant male dominance, and that most sex offenders are male, and females do commit sex crimes, but they're often underrepresented as perpetrators. So you're correct.
That data you're reporting, is it?
Do you want to continue?
Yes, please. And so
You're 60.
this is from the United States Commission Sentencing, which is just about sexual abuse offenders. And there's a whole pie chart here, about how many times they offend and who they offend, and who they're under guidance for. And again, it is saying that the vast majority of 80% of the perpetrators.
Yeah. So
yeah, you can talk now.
So women, do you agree with me that Well, I have to ask some questions here so I can figure some things out. I
Okay.
think you'll answer them. So, do you agree with me that both men and women have the propensity to, in some way, essay the other part or both of it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's, I mean, no, yes, I agree. It is definitely possible for both sexes to do that.
The question becomes, if you switch criteria around, right, for what is considered sexual assault, let's just assume things like catcalling are put in the category.
That's harassment. But are you saying
But let's say it's categorized,
Okay.
not as harassment, but as a form of sexual abuse. Would you say that that would greatly skew the numbers?
If that were how it was classified, yes.
Yeah.
Do you have evidence that is how it is
I
classified?
do. In fact, there's a whole grouping of colleges in the study that I can show you where that was smuggled in as a form of sexual assault or SA or sexual battery in some cases, right? They smuggle in, like, so what they do is they decide that they want to make that data set wider, and so they just reclassify things which would not ordinarily be classified as sexual assault or sexual battery. Just inserting those things. Now, the same exact thing happens here. Do you think that it's very masculine, for instance, inside of society, for men to go and report when a woman gives them unwanted touching?
No, and I have another fact. I do know male victims with female perpetrators.
And they have unwanted touching?
Yes.
So they're just far more likely to report it because of the social stigma, which happens to them often from women who tell them things like, I don't consider you a real man like you did to me earlier.
Oh, I didn't really say that, but
You did. Your exact words were, a real man would X.
real men.
A real man? Can you tell me what a real man is?
What's going on in the transfer fan base? So, this is like the thank you for shots for Rockville doesn't mean that's high quality transfer that changed the game. Like I said, there's others out there, but these are better, high quality, the lighter, the more doesn't rank. So
I need you to use your special to get us back up,
get your
bro.
transfer, and if you are uncertain, make sure you check out the links down below as well. Underneath the videos and stop eating break down
Yeah, no,
how
we
to
gotta
press, the ninja transfer.
There's no point. Whoa! Get up out of there. Get up out of there, y'all. That's stupid.
So you think you're fast? Just like he was gonna stuck in.
Y'all waited too long. Y'all wanted to go. Oh, shit.
Whenever people say silly things like, oh, I feel sorry for your wife and kids, I always say, me to come on and say hello and, just field any question you guys might have about what it's like to be married to a base-skated chat like Andrew. So, if you have anything to say, here I am.
What?
Really? How do you feel with your husband making these comments online as well? Well, just saying rude things to women or screaming over them. How do you feel with that?
Well, he doesn't say rude things to women until they say something rude to him first. So, Bangs was the first one to say, he's got wrinkles and he's old and he's crazy. Okay, bro. So, of course he's going to say something back. And they've had exchanges back and forth before. And she's plenty happy to be rude and say mean things to him first. I think that's okay because she's the one. But if Andrew just simply give her a taste of her own medicine back, he won't go, it's like, why? Why is it fine for her to insult him, but it's unfault for her when he just simply gives it back to her? What's wrong with that?
Also,
I don't know if they poisoned me. That's even
he
fuck.
said that it wasn't a 10 because I had small boobies. I just said I was 10. I have a question for you too. He said that you're getting worse with age. How do you feel about that?
I've been on the show myself, and I'm 44 years old, and I've had 5 kids. So, no, I'm not as hot as I was when I was 22. If this is a fact of life that all of us have to deal with, the time of your life that you're hot is, it's short, and it's limited. You're not going to always be a chick. So, you can't expect that part of your life to be forever. I mean, it's just a fact of life. As we age. Doesn't mean he's not attracted to me or I'm not attracted to him, but I'm not as good as I was when I was 22. And if I was on the show, I made it myself 5. I And everybody was so bad. It's very sick.
When I started working on Dr. West, I needed a website. Figuring out pretty cool. It's pretty hard. The old stuff. Well, put it here. I just tell it where I went. And you say, I make a website so fast, pretty much close my eyes. It's just like, shoot, to the side. Like the solution of these. Which allowed me to focus my noggin, make it more goggins, but on their goggins. GoGetty.com.
But, I'm gonna get my treatment in.
Okay, give me an example. I just gave you one. Well, you have an attitude. So you were being kind of like how you did earlier, where you're like, "I'm gonna need a man."
No,
So if
but
you come with a fancy attitude and then call yourself a 10 when you're clearly objectively
okay, but
a 10.
I can have this. That was just my personality. But when I said it was like that comment, it was like when the person said rate yourself 1 through 10, I literally when it was my turn I said 10, and then I was like, you want me to stand up, you know, because I wanted him to rate me, and then he gave me an 8, but then he was like, Andrew rate me, he said like a 3. Or he's like, she's not a 10, she has no boobies. Doesn't that make you uncomfortable? I was like, what? Like I didn't do anything. I just rated myself. Isn't that weird? That your man is looking at her chest. Isn't that weird?
The whole she stood up and asked to have her body evaluated.
No, I said I was asking for him. That's what I was asking. He wanted what's and so
Just a second here, Brian. You said you were a 10. Andrew said, no, you're not a 10. And he had to explain why. So that was the reason he gave. That's his opinion. No, it doesn't make me uncomfortable. It doesn't bother me.
But I mean, it was so unnecessary. That's why I'm saying that he is mean when there's no reason to be mean. Like that was like I was like, oh okay. I guess.
Yeah.
His comment was so unnecessary.
I watch every episode. You were no little angel. You were not some sweet, nice girl.
I am not an angel. I never said that.
Right. So you had attitude, you had sass,
but like in that moment,
small boobs, and you have small boobs. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm sorry.
the comment wasn't necessary. The comment wasn't necessary. We're just asking for how you feel about your grown ass husband saying that stuff.
First of all, don't ever say grown ass man. It's ghetto.
Just give a fuck. You know what ghetto is?
All of you have been to all this college, and I'm like, where's all the college education for all these college educate? You're all in college, and you can't put two,
you're not even using the word ghetto, really. So like no fact.
He's not a grown ass.
That's what I'm saying. Like, does not make her ghetto. You have to know that. You know what ghetto is? Why woman stop saying the word ghetto? Crazy. I don't know. Crazy. Because you're trying
Oh God! Oh come on, God! You can't be.
Why do you think I keep getting invited back? Why do you think I keep getting invited back? Like you guys are a really perfect couple. Like I know why he's attracted to you. Like yes, you guys are a perfect couple. Definitely. I'm thinking to let women have free license to act terrible, to be entitled, to be rude, to think that they know everything given to them on a silver platter, to push their hands up, to act
can't live that anymore and we are going through it. Like, see, this is the thing though, I never did. It's not a thing where I was just like, it's giving I believe in 30s because it's let me back on. So I didn't do this thing. I didn't self-be an introvert. And I was a mom when I was 20 years old. My own thing wanted to be in long-term conversations. I was hoping I would just get married for me and educate me first. It wasn't my fault.
So much on me. You said that you were being part of your
God damn, what the fuck?
So I don't feel like you should come for me.
Thank you, bro.
Come for me.
I'm saying it's absurd for you to believe that it's like normal behavior to try to be randomly kind of working like young women live in such delusion now. Despite everything that's on the inside, like we grow strong, independent people. And when they just come on here and say, look, this behavior is ridiculous, it's silly and absurd. Not just like calling his prison. I'm not calling your name. I'm not swearing at you or anything like that. I'm just saying you guys were like, we don't get no think about it. And we don't think it's like, okay, let me explain to you. Or I try to explain to you that this princess fantasy room that you live in does need to something needs to turn it down for you, alright? Now,
Can I ask you a genuine question? How long have you been with Andrew? Like in this like dating period, let's say, like in a
17 years.
okay, 17 years, so that's a long time. You guys seem like a relatively happy couple right now. I'm sure you guys have to have some sort of
Oh
like
my God.
emotional connection, right? To like make your whole relationship.
Yeah, bro. Woo! Woo!
It's easier when you tell them leave today. Just get home and talk to Monica.
Get the crit, get the crit, get the crit, get the crit, get the crit.
You
Fuck
guys do
that,
that
bro.
because he made a remark earlier. He's like, you guys not.
You gotta be quick on your feet, bro.
So like he would say friendship is shown like a lot of emotions and I'm genuinely curious if you've been with him for 17 years and how do you guys keep that? I'm sure you guys get into fights too during the commit.
So for him, yeah, that's a lot of things to do, but I would do stupid shit like that. And he gave me like a little bit of, spirit. He would say, let's see how far do that. I can't like how he like throw a remote control it or something. And he'd be like, excuse me? Just throw stuff at me, but get angry or yell. He was just like, all of that. And it hurt.
Bitch.
Like, she could throw stuff at me. Like, usually said something and like just hit me wrong in here, right? So I learned that in relation with boundaries, like loud support them is hard. Just
Whoa!
like,
Got it!